Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan. So I'm having a look here at the Champion M4 Sherman, which is the Soviet Tier 5 premium tank, premium version of the M4 Sherman. I believe it's very similar statistically to the Ripper, but I haven't actually checked the stats in detail. It's very typically a Sherman type tank, really. You've got a decent enough top speed, but it can be slow enough getting there, and it will slow down a lot on hills. And the armour is very typically behaviour of, again, the Sherman type. It will bounce shots, but it's not something you can rely on, and you generally try and avoid getting hit as much as possible. I don't really have any complaints in terms of silver earning or a what's the other thing? XP earning. In my experience of it. However, it has a terrible gun. It's terrible in every way. The gun handling is terrible. The bloom when moving or rotating the turret is huge. The accuracy is 0.36, which is pretty bad. Penetration is very low. So the combination of poor accuracy and poor penetration means that you will struggle to penetrate any tier 5 with the basic ammunition. Most anyway armoured tier 5, certainly all tier 5 heavies from the front, and quite a lot of them from the sides and rear. You won't be able to penetrate them in any kind of range with any kind of reliability using the basic ammunition. You'll be forced to use the premium ammunition. You'll also find that you'll lose a lot of straight up DPM fights that you might win in other Sherman variants, simply because, again, of the poor penetration and poor accuracy of the gun. You can't rely on auto aim at all with this tank. It'll probably hit the general vicinity of the tank, but it'll generally hit some of the more strongly armoured bits of the tank and tend to be ineffective if it hits the tank at all. And if the tank's moving and things like that, you can miss at point blank ranges. So you often have to bring the tank to a halt, a complete halt, to get the maximum out of the gun. And if the other tank is a DPM anything similar to yours, you'll lose, because more of its shots will penetrate it, more of them will hit on target, more of them will penetrate, so it will do generally more damage, unless it's a very low damaging round. But I wouldn't fancy getting this thing into a gunfight with a Matilda, for instance. The Matilda would probably take it apart long before you would take the Matilda apart, despite the tier difference, the fact that you've got a lot more hit points, and the Matilda's got relatively few hit points, and the Matilda isn't doing a lot of damage per shot. But the Matilda is dumping out shots faster than you are, and every Matilda shot that hits you will penetrate if the Matilda driver knows what he's doing at all. The one area where it could be quite good is in ridgeline. If you find yourself a suitable ridgeline, the gun depression is really good, and you could, with a steep reverse slope, shoot people without exposing much of the tank at all, and what would you expose would be very steeply angled. But generally, yeah, gun handling is poor, so if you haven't got Soviet premium tanks, I wouldn't recommend this one to be the first. If you got it for nothing, it's fine. If you got it for nothing, it's suitable enough as a crew trainer. You might not have a lot of fun with it. That depends on your playstyle and your attitude towards these kind of tanks. But if you are buying a Soviet premium tank, pretty much any of the lower tier premium tanks I think is better value for money. They all have advantages that this one, in some areas where this tank still struggles in quite a lot of areas. So I haven't tried some of the newer premium tanks. I haven't tried the Fighting Girlfriend, but I presume it's basically T-34, and the others are mostly T-34-85s, and then you have the T-28T variants, which I think the T-28T is a quite effective tank, as long as you're on the right kind of battlefield. So that is my overall opinion on it. You will find yourself using premium ammo a lot in this tank, and I think if you don't use premium ammo, you'll struggle to make an impact on the game. And even with premium ammo, you're looking there, so I'm getting yellow on the front of the Panzer 5.4, and that's just the base penetration. That's not taking into account the loss of penetration with range. And as you can see, I'm having trouble even hitting the tank, much less actually penetrating a point where I hit the tank at. So I don't have much more to say about it. We did reasonably well in this game, and I came mid-tier in quite a lot of games with it, but you kind of want to, you need to be careful how you use it. It won't brawl. You need to shoot basically when you're not being shot back at. So you spend a lot of time. Avoid fighting at the start of the game. Use it later on to double up on targets and basically victimize people. Generally try and avoid being shot at as much as possible, because if you get into any kind of DPM contest, you just won't win, simply because of the poor accuracy, more than anything else. So that's it for the champion M4 Sherman. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like. And if you haven't already done so, please consider giving the channel a subscription. And I will catch you all again soon. Bye now.